All right, guys, now I'm with Tom Vialle, KTM 250 rider, out here at the intros, I guess you would say, still at night, which I think is one of the coolest things that we're able to do. You were clocking laps. Like, you were doing a lot of laps out here.
I mean, we had like a 15-minute session, so I ride like about 10, 12 minutes. It's about a week that we have the new track, so I ride twice on the track, not so much actually. Normally, like the test track, we do many laps, and that track is kind of new, so we're still like, I mean, we know the track good, so I did a few laps here. Yeah,
I was gonna say, it's like you jumped on it and you were a lot more comfortable, because I've seen you, and I mean I remember when you first came to America, I would get shots of you and I would get some certain things of you. The moto tracks, my God, you were flying. You know what I mean? And I think that's just more of your style, you know? And then I would never see you at the Supercross tracks just because usually you'd be here or whatever, right? You are fast on that bike. You look good, you look comfortable. That's why I'm not gonna ask him those questions. He likes the bike, you know, it's been good.
Yeah.
What I do want to know is like, now that you're in your second full season of Supercross,
I'm starting.
Is it just drastically different being able to kind of come into this with the experience that you had from last year? Like, how's that been for you?
I mean, it's way different. Back last year, I think beginning of December, I had only 1 month of Supercross in my whole life.
Oh wow, okay.
So I mean, it was tough, to be honest. I had some tough days, and right now we are 1 year later. I ride about like 6 months maybe in Supercross, so I'm feeling way more comfortable on the track every time I go to the track. So compared to last year, I'm way ahead, let's say, for my training, for my winter preparation. So it's getting good. I have some new stuff this winter. I'm pretty happy with. So that's
like a new number.
Yeah, actually a new number, but like the way of training also like kind of different. I still have time before the first race, so we are getting like a lot of physical down and then training a lot. But yeah, for sure, like I'm pretty happy. Bike improved a lot compared to last season in Supercross. We have some new engine. The bike is way better, so I'm really looking forward for 2024. I'm gonna know. I mean, I know what I'm gonna do. Last year I just went there and didn't know anything, so it's gonna be a big step. That like just manage to know the practice, like 3 times 10 minutes in the afternoon, and going to the heat race and then the main event, and just knowing what it's gonna be. I think it's a big advantage for me.
That's got to be completely different than what you've been used to, right?
Yeah, I mean, actually last year, this year, early in the year, we are still in 2023, but when I went to the first race, I didn't know anything. Like, even 10-minute practice was so quick. And
you're like, wait a second.
I was like, hey, I don't even know the track yet. I mean, for next year, that's gonna be way better for me. Just knowing what's gonna be.
How to prepare.
How to prepare. And I just feel like the end of the Supercross, I mean, was not that good, but I started to know the day is gonna be, and so I'm really looking forward for next year, and hopefully I can have a good winter. We are into it. It's going good so far. So I still have like a lot of training ahead, but pretty excited for next year. But
we only got like a month, and so it happens quick. You know, especially with the holidays too. I mean,
of course it's getting quick, but like we ride almost like 3-4 times a week, so we still have a lot of training, a little bit of testing, of course, on the suspension stuff. But so far the bike is pretty good, so pretty happy with that.
All right, so how was Paris Supercross?
It was nice. Being back to France for like 3 days, that was tough, to be honest.
Was it?
With the jet lag, we flew on Wednesday and then land there, and then Thursday we do a few shoots, and then Friday press day. But the jet lag is just so much, like it's 9 hours, so it was tough to sleep.
It's kind of weird because that's where you lived. You know, like
I know, but I mean, I'm living now in the US, so I'm just used to the time here. And then when I go back, it's pretty tough the first few days.
But you saw family, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was a lot of people that I knew, of course, and it was pretty cool. To be honest, the race was not that great. I had some mistake on the suspension. I was way too stiff for that race, so just feel like I rode like 80% the whole weekend. I couldn't really push, but anyway, it was just some start again in Supercross for me, getting more experience, and that's really the goal for me. Like doing races is what I need in Supercross.
Any gate drop, especially that you could do.
Exactly. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's what I've always said is a lot of people are like, oh, should they race or should you do this? I'm like, one, I'm not a pro rider, so I have no idea. But the more gate drops that you could do and actually get in something like a race is going to be way more beneficial than anything else.
Exactly. You know, like I've raced like only 10 Supercross in my life.
Yeah.
Those guys race like for many years, so maybe for them it's better to train, but for me like the racing is so important right now in Supercross, so the most race I can do is great.
Yeah. All right. So on the personal side, I know going to France and then coming back here, is there anything that you would bring or anything that you could take, whether it's like family, whether it's cooking, whether it's like a dish, anything in France, anything, would you bring it here? And what are some of the things that like you really wish and really miss being home, or being in the US compared to home?
Then I have a lot of things to bring, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, I can actually, you know, it's about a year that I'm here and I start really to enjoy it actually, just right now. The first few months was good, and then it started to be pretty tough. You know, like when I was in Europe, like just I had many friends, and you can go sometime dinner, and then I was a little bit more tough here. I mean, I don't really know a lot of people, so I'm feeling way more happier now. Let's say, I think in the winter I'm pretty close with Chase, so we live kind of close in Florida, and I have a good relation with him, and he's pretty nice. So for me, just to have you know, like some friend and going out, having fun is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And also for training, I think, you know, having fun is sometimes nice. And that's just what I was missing, I think, a lot compared to when I was in Europe. And I'm getting used to the lifestyle. It was tough at the beginning, but I feel like right now I have my life here in the US and I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier. I mean, if I were around people or I was out somewhere, like for instance, I just started this whole media thing, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, but I don't really know that many, so it's a little uncomfortable at times, right? And like I can only imagine that's how you would feel. You know, it's just like, hey, I know people, but not that many.
Yeah, I mean, I know, you know, like when you train with a rider, you know them, but then once you finish the training, you go home, and then it's pretty tough to have really a relation. And I had some friend in Europe, so we went a lot dinner on the weekend and stuff. Having some fun, you know, like it's pretty important sometimes to just put the mind out of the training.
Oh, you have
and
to.
Then and I feel like this winter with Levi and Chase, we had some fun, and it's pretty cool. And that's sometimes important for me also, like just disconnected a little bit from the motocross and from the training, and then having some fun. So it's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that.
Okay. All right. So do you have set goals for yourself? Or I don't know what coast you're racing or anything like that, but you don't have to tell me the coast.
We still, for sure, we cannot say 100% which coast, but normally I should ride east. That's for sure not. We can't say it yet, but it's not sure, of course. Everything can happen, but...
what's your goal?
Last year I've been close to a few podium in a few races, so that's my goal to be. I've been on the podium and winning race outdoor and also SMX, so that's what I'm missing Supercross, and my goal is to be more consistent than this year.
That's good. I like that.
I had a lot of up and downs. I had some good race, and the weekend after pretty bad, and then a lot of up and downs. So right now it's my second year. I want to be way more stable.
Okay.
That's really the goal, and of course being often on the podium and fighting for the win in Supercross.
All right.
I mean, being right there, you know, like kind of.
You want to be in the fight.
Yeah, I want to be in the fight, and kind of what I was doing in the SMX. I've been right there until the last race. So I want to be more steady and more. Just right there every weekend and fighting up there in front, and
that's fair. I think
for the podium.
I think that's exactly where you'll end up being at too. Is
you know,
those
like
fights.
every year is different. I had some experience from back in Europe. Like, I mean, you can't say I want to be champion. Of course, everyone want to be champion. Everyone want to win the title. But just for me, like right now for next year, being stable, trying to be on the podium as much as possible every weekend, and trying to be up there in front, and that's really the goal. Being more steady, I think.
All right. Well, I'm gonna end it there. You got a bunch of other interviews that you got to do. But thank you for sitting down with me. I appreciate it. I'm rooting for you. I think you're going to do really well. I think you got a good team. You got a good crew around you. But yeah, good luck, man. Good luck this season. Yeah.